Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's video, I have got another what's for dinner for you guys. This is where I share all the meals that we had this past week, regardless if we eat out or if we eat at home, whatever the case is. I share real life, realistic dinners with you guys. Now, I do have a cold, so I apologize if you have problems understanding me, or if I seem to be pausing for breathing while I'm doing this voiceover, but just hang in there with me and hopefully I'll feel better by next week. Let's go ahead and get cooking. We are starting off this week of meals with leftovers. I cooked chili dogs for lunch today after church, so we've got enough leftovers to feed us for supper tonight. But I did make some corn as well, which y'all will see this at the end of the month. It's from this cookbook, so I'm going to be sharing that for the next cookbook club. But it smells delicious, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I have never made corn on the cob in the crock pot, so I'm excited. But we've just got hot dogs, chili, pork and beans. I do have chips over there I'll get out. Y'all know we eat those cold with chips. And then we've got some cheese and some raw onion for Luke. So just, build your own, make your own plate. Use up the leftovers. On Monday night, I did another crock pot recipe. This one was from that same cookbook, so you guys will see this at the end of the month, part of the cookbook collab. On Tuesday night, I kept it simple, and we did some chicken tenders and some mac and cheese. I'm just using these chicken tenders that I picked up at my Amish store. These were really, really good, so I'm definitely going to pick up some more whenever we go back. They were really good. They were raw, so I did have to cook them for like 35 minutes, but honestly, they were really worth it because they were really, really good. On Wednesday night, I did a shredded pork tenderloin with some gravy. I also had some mashed potatoes. I had Luke pick these up on the way home because I wasn't able to get any potatoes at the store. They were all out. And then I made some homemade rolls. I just shared how to do that, so I will have that video linked down below for you guys. Those rolls are amazing. I have shared how I do my pork and gravy before, so I will have a recipe video linked down below for you guys. Tonight for supper, I am gonna do lasagna. I had on the menu to do lasagna skillet, but I don't know, this just sounds better, and I can use up more ingredients that I need to use. So I have cooked up my ground beef. I added some garlic, some onions, and some pepper to the meat while it was cooking, of course with some seasoning. Then I just drained it, and I'm gonna use one of my spaghetti sauces that I canned myself. Super excited. This is the first time that we're trying it. And then I just pulled my lasagna noodles from the pantry. It's just enough to do 3 layers, so that's perfect. Got just enough noodles. And then these are my cheese options. I've got literally like the world's smallest amount of this. Got some mozzarella, and then I've got some provolone slices. So I think I'm gonna layer those like in between the layers, and then do the mozzarella on the top. That's my plan, my game plan. And then ricotta cheese. I normally either do ricotta or cottage cheese, or you can do a mixture of both. It just depends on what I have. And I have ricotta cheese, so I'm going to use that. Add an egg to that. Now, I normally add in some shredded Parmesan, like the bag kind in there, but I don't have any. I thought I did, but I guess I used it all. I think I used it all when I did those homemade pizzas last week. But, so normally I do add Parmesan cheese in there. I might add some sprinkle parm, and then I add Italian seasoning, and just mix it all together. So, let's build us a yummy lasagna. forgot to hit record before I opened it, but y'all, that was a beautiful sound. Hearing that seal. Oh, I'm so excited. The joys of making your own food. Okay. Now, I'm not going to cook my noodles, which normally I do. I normally cook them till at least al dente, but I'm not gonna do that this time. I'm just gonna go for it. Go for it and hope for the best. So, let's put this together. I'm gonna use this foil pan because I don't feel like washing dishes. I pulled this out of the fridge to put just at the bottom for a thin layer. That way the noodles don't burn at the bottom. But the rest will be my sauce in the meat mixture. I just didn't want to open up a whole nother can of my sauce when I had that in the fridge. Now we're gonna add on meat and sauce. And you just layer it up. I normally do meat sauce, cheese, ugh. I'm tired this morning. Add on provolone. Like I said, we're just using what we got, so this one's gonna probably look a little different, and you're gonna be like, why in the world are you adding that stuff in there? Well, that's the joy of cooking. Especially cooking in your own house, in your own kitchen. You can do what you want to. Okay. And we're gonna use this up, just to use it up. I'm honestly surprised Winston hasn't ate that yet. Okay. And we're just gonna do it all over again. So I ended up ending with the last of the ricotta cheese mixture. And then I had some extra meat sauce, so I just kind of put it on the sides. That way it gave the noodles a little extra moisture to cook. Because I do normally cook my pasta, like I said, but this time I just didn't feel like dealing with it. So we'll see how it turns out. I know they make like the oven-ready noodles, but these weren't those. They're just regular lasagna noodles. So we'll see. I'm sure it's still going to be good. But I wanted to make sure it had enough moisture in there to be able to cook the noodles. So I just added in that sauce on the side, and then I just topped it with the mozzarella cheese. And I'm just going to wrap it up with foil and put it in the fridge until tonight when it's time to get it in the oven. I would say since it's thick and the noodles are not done, like, you know, semi-cooked, it probably will be like 40 to 50 minutes in the oven. But I have it done, so all I gotta do is stick it in the oven. That's one of the good parts. Here's what it looked like when it was done. Y'all, this was so good. I don't know if it was because it was homemade sauce or what, but it just hit different. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The sauce was so good, and the lasagna was just delicious. And then I made homemade garlic knots to go with it, which I just shared how I did those as well. So I will have that video linked down below. I shared that with the rolls. But y'all, this was just so good. On Friday night, Luke grilled. He did some steaks. These were New York strip. And he also did some cheddar brats, which are our personal favorite. To go along with it, I did some creamed corn and bacon in the crock pot. Y'all will see that also a part of the cookbook collab. There is the steaks and the brats. And then I also fixed a stick of butter rice, which I have shared this so many times on my channel because it is so good. So I will have a video linked down below. That is definitely one of our favorite side dishes. But y'all, this meal was delicious. Last but not least, on Saturday night, I did some roasted veggies with some fish. So we have got some potatoes in there. We also have some carrots. I'm just going to add in some olive oil, some cavenders, some paprika, garlic powder, onion powder. Just season with your heart, which you know your family is going to enjoy. And I'm just going to give those a toss and get those put on a sheet pan and get those in a 400-degree oven. I'm setting a timer for 15 minutes. And then after that 15 minutes is up, I went ahead and added in my green beans. These are frozen green beans. They do not take as long to roast in the oven, so that's why I didn't add them in with the root vegetables, because those are going to take a little bit longer. I'm seasoning those up with the same exact thing, and I'm just going to set those aside until it's time to add those on. And then for my fish, I just thawed out some tilapia, and I'm going to go ahead and rub those down with some Duke's mayonnaise, some Cajun seasoning, some cavenders, and I also added in a little bit of Dijon mustard. I was not sure on this, but I'm like, I really think this would be good, and it was really good. It helped keep the fish nice and moist. It was not dried out. It was really delicious. So I'm just going to let that kind of marinate for about 30 minutes, give it some love, and then we will bread it and get it put in the oven. Now that the fish is ready to be coated, I'm just going to coat it in some panko breadcrumbs. I did season that up with the same seasonings that I added on before. And then I'm just going to get that put onto a sprayed baking pan and just get that same thing, 400-degree oven. It only took about 10 minutes. You just want to make sure that the internal temperature is 145 for tilapia. Also cooked up some of my squash that I had put in the freezer. I had put a bunch of squash up. I did share how I did this to get it like prepped to go in the freezer to be able to fry for later, like in this case. So I'll have that video linked down below in case you missed it. But y'all, this was so good. I'm so glad that I took the time to bread these and get them ready to go in the freezer, and that way I can easily just pop them out and add it to a meal. And here is everything. There is the veggies. We've got our fried squash. And then our tilapia. This was so good. It was something different, and sometimes you just need that. And that's it, guys. That wraps up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed these super easy and delicious weeknight dinners. Just remember, it does not have to be fancy, just as long as your family is fed. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me while I'm trying to get through this with my cold. Hopefully I'll start feeling better in a couple days, but I definitely sound congested. But thanks for hanging in there. I appreciate all the love and support on my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.